morning. So here we are at the top of the Mount Carmel, and in a minute I'm going to show you the view. It is amazing. Mount Carmel, which is situated in Haifa, a modern harbor able to accommodate all sorts of luxury liners, tankers, cargo boats and other ships. Haifa's landscape from the sea is dominated by the golden dome of the Baha'i Temple. The Baha'i Temple is situated between the Mediterranean Sea and Mount Carmel. Our next stop was Stella Maris, the largest Carmelite monastery built on the site of earlier churches and monasteries of the Byzantine and Crusader periods. In the lowest garden of the monastery is the Cave of Elijah, where, according to Christian tradition, the prophet lived. After lunch, our next stop was the Church of Annunciation, which is the focal point of Nazareth. This church is the largest church in the Middle East and was completed in 1969 and is the fifth church built on the spot where the angel Gabriel appeared to Mary to announce the birth of Jesus. In front of the church are displayed various pictures and paintings of Mother Mary donated by various countries all around the world. The new structure consists of two superimposed churches, a lower crypt preserving the Holy Grotto at the level of the former churches, and an upper level which serves as the city's Catholic parish church. The grotto where the Holy Family is said to have lived after their return from Egypt was carved out of the white rock of the hill in the shape of a small square room. A pair of granite columns in the grotto are reputed to have supernatural powers. Our next stop was Cana, near Nazareth, which is the site where Jesus performed his first miracle. Here are two churches, one Greek Orthodox and the other which is Franciscan. After this, we purchased some wine at the local shops and then retired to our hotel to prepare for the next day. Our first stop for day 6 was the Mount of Beatitudes, where Jesus preached the sermon. Remains of a small Byzantine church were discovered here in 1935, but the Franciscans chose to rebuild the modern Church of the Beatitudes on the hilltop. Constructed by Antonio Barlucci of local basalt with colonnade of white stones, the octagonal church recalls the 8 blessings which are inscribed on the walls of the octagon, with the 9th inside the dome. The next destination is Tabga, a distortion of the Greek word heptapegon, which means 7 springs.
In the Holy Land here, we pick up the fruits of olives. Some people they will pick it at the last of September. Some people they will pick it in the 1st of October. And as you know, olive tree we have the green and we have the black. So generally they will bring the olives, they will wash it at that time and they will put it at this basin here. At this basin here there will be as well wooden beam. So they will start to crush, to roll it and to crush the olives, and it will become like paste. They will collect it and they will put it in round baskets and they will take it to over there. Let's go over there. Here there will be a wooden cover or sometimes stone cover, and there is a beam at the middle, and they will start to put these tires baskets, round baskets, one over the other. Okay? Then they started to add stones. Press. Okay? Liquid, it will start to go from here down here. Okay? Now what we will have down? Water and oil. How to separate the oil from the water? Before pressing, they will put crushed limestone. When you will press the crushed limestone, it will absorb the water. The only thing will remain the oil. Okay? The first drops of oil, which we call it in local name, known as the extra virgin oil. And that extra virgin oil, it will be taken at that time to the Temple of Jerusalem. This stone, it was found south of Bethlehem, south of Jerusalem, which is 186 kilometers from here. And this stone, it is from the late 4th century. And this stone, it is a baptismal basin, Ma'mudiyya. You can see it is carved to look like a cross. Okay? 4 people, they can be baptized at the same time.
This is the traditional site of the miracle of the loaves and fishes, the place where Jesus fed 5,000 people. I found an olive. On the olive tree. Less than a kilometer's distance from the Church of Multiplication is Church of St. Peter's Primacy and also the Lake of Galilee. The Sea of Galilee is in fact a lake. It is 13 miles long and 7.5 miles wide, 50 meters deep, with a surface area of 63.7 square miles. Jesus has said to have spent most of his 3-year public ministry in towns and villages around the Sea of Galilee. He is also said to have walked on this very same lake. Nearby along the shore is the Church of St. Peter's Primacy, or Mensa Christi, the Table of Christ. This simple chapel marks the place where Jesus, after his resurrection, showed himself again to his disciples at the Sea of Tiberias. The rock emerging from the center of the floor is the table at which they ate. Next stop was Capernaum. Capernaum was a wealthy Jewish town. The remains of the 4th century white limestone synagogue show that it was the most elaborate of the early Galilean synagogues. This is also where Jesus met his first disciples, Peter, Andrew, James, John, and Matthew. The traditional house of St. Peter, one of the group of houses, was discovered beneath the Byzantine octagonal church. A modern church is now built over the house of Peter. columns of the ancient synagogue is what you see here. This was probably built on the site of the original building where Jesus preached. So this is called the Sea of Galilee, but it's actually a lake, and it's a very big water body. I'm gonna be a little bit adventurous and move toward the water. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. So here we are at the boat ride. Next, we had a boat ride on the boats that looked exactly like the pilgrims' boats back at the time of Jesus. The real Galilee boat is now preserved and housed in a museum. The next and the last stop for our entire trip was Mount Tabor at 1850 feet and the highest mountain in the area. From here there is a magnificent view of the Jezreel Plain and Nazareth to the west, Samaria to the south, and Galilee to the north. The top is a large plateau. It was traditionally on the summit of Mount Tabor, the high mountain apart, that Jesus was transfigured. Just drove up the Mount of Tabor, where it is said that Jesus had this moment of transfiguration, and the view that we just witnessed on the way here was so beautiful. I wanted to cry. We're going down the Mount of Transfiguration now, and this has been the last thing for today's visit, or for the entire trip, that is. And after this, we'll be going back to the hotel, and our trip has come to an end. Good morning from Nazareth. So this is the view from our hotel room. That's the entire city down there. So we're getting ready now to leave, as the city was very beautiful, and there's a lot of new technology around here, a lot of agriculture. So it was a very, very nice experience. So my vlog comes to an end here. Thank you all for watching. Shalom.